Hey, welcome back everybody to Success Secrets Revealed live stream. I am your humble host, Ronald Couming of RCS Online Solutions. I want to tell you the purpose of this show is basically I have a radio show, 1.7 million weekly listeners, right? That's what our reach is, called Internet Marketing and Business Solutions with Ronald Couming. Unfortunately, because of COVID, the radio station is not staffing the station, so they're running reruns of our old shows, and I've been doing that show for almost 4 years now. But I wanted, especially now in what's going on, I wanted to make sure that we were giving current information and that our listeners and our viewers were getting great information from thought leaders and business owners and entrepreneurs, but in the current state that we're in. Okay, so I pivoted a little. We're doing these live streams. I'm stripping out the audio, sending it to the radio station. Each one of these live streams will be put in rotation at some point at the radio station as well, but you get to hear us now. Okay, so that's for that. Today we have Dawn Moore with us, and she's unbelievable. I've known her for years. I've seen her around for 3 or 4 years, listened to her speak on several stages, and I'm going to introduce her in 1 second. First, I want to introduce our sponsors. I want to let you know our guests don't get paid to be here, and they don't pay to be here. They are coming on this show as a gift to you. I don't get paid to be on this show. This show is sponsored by my company, RCS Online Solutions, where we basically help business owners and entrepreneurs create or update their online presence and get their message in front of their target audience. At the end of the day, if you don't attract, convert, and retain your ideal customers and clients, you're not going to be in business too long, right? You can have the best products, the best service, the best solutions, the best of everything, but if people can't find you when they're searching for the solution, product, or service that you provide, you're going to lose that sale. No one's searching for you by name or your company's name, because if they know that, they're calling you, right? They're searching for the solution to their problem. That's what you need to come up for. So enough of that. Again, we're going to move on now and introduce you to Dawn Moore. She is a sales and communication strategist. Dawn Moore, the creator of the Predictive Method, which is trademark, is a systematic approach to get results in your business, life, and health. Is a master communication strategist, trainer, coach, and professor who leverages the science and art of words to assist clients to speak with confidence, knowing they will be heard and understood. After speaking with tens of thousands of entrepreneurs, small business owners, and individuals and coaches, hundreds of her clients. Superpower is her ability to predict human behavior through a word pattern filter. She literally raises her family on this question: what's more important, what was said or how it was interpreted? Where are her geniuses who know it's both? Dawn works with individuals to build their business using predictive marketing and communication strategies to maximize their results. Please help me welcome Dawn Moore.
Round of applause. Hi, Ron.
I'm going to get that. I haven't, right? It's been like 2 months, but I should get some type of clap feed, right? That I can just hit a button and all of a sudden they clap, right? So how are you doing today?
Get you a clap track. Isn't that what it's called? A clap track?
Yeah, there's probably something. I don't even have to, clap track, right? But there's probably got to be something. Like you get those little red things at Staples or something. Yeah, so something I could just press. I don't even have to, install it. Just press a button. It's got to be something out there. If not, we'll invent it. But Dawn, tell us, where you calling in from?
I am actually in the beautiful Lehigh Valley of Pennsylvania, just south of the Poconos and north of Philadelphia.
Nice. That's a great area to be.
It is up and coming. It is growing so fast. It's crazy here. Just crazy. We just moved here about 2 years ago from New Jersey.
Wow. New Jersey. You're a Jersey girl. How long do you live in Jersey?
30 years. Raised my family there. We were a former military family. My husband is a Navy fighter pilot, and we moved all over the world, and then roosted halfway between Philadelphia and New York.
All right, but I have to ask, and I hope I don't hit the delete button by mistake, but I'm from Boston. Are you a Yankees fan?
I am. Sorry.
Had I known. No, just kidding.
But now I have to be even more careful, because are you a Yankees fan, a Mets fan, or an Eagles fan? Because these Eagles fans, boy, they take their fandom seriously, let me tell you.
Yeah. Boston and Yankees, it's more of just like a running joke, you know what I mean? But you're right, there's some areas that take it serious. That's an incredible, impressive bio, and I like the whole way that you talk about using words and metrics to kind of guide and strategize your way to, step by step. With this will lead us here, this will lead us here, and these certain type of triggers. I mean, knowing this in advance can certainly help a business owner through their marketing and also through their sales process, and ultimately in serving the client, because their communication is that much better. Am I correct in that?
Absolutely. A lot of times when I start working with people, and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, thank you. You get me. You hear me." And that's such a compliment, because it's a matter of making someone feel visible. And I think that's one of the things that's really missing in a lot of the sales conversations, is a person's approach in how to do business with someone else. And I do this talk about the sales conversation and how you can predict how a person's going to respond based on each individual step along the way. And I find that too often entrepreneurs rush the process, and they start, they're trying to get the sale instead of understand what kind of need they serve, what kind of problem they solve for someone.
I love it. All right. Can you tell us a little bit about your process, your steps, and maybe a little bit more about your background? And thank your husband so much for his service. I mean, it's him and families like you and your sacrifice. Obviously, while he was gone, you sacrificed, that allow us to have the freedoms that we have. So at the end of the day, without people like your husband, we wouldn't have our country. So thank you for that.
And thank you for acknowledging that. I will certainly pass it on to him.
Excellent.
So the predictive method that I created really came out of trying to understand what it is entrepreneurs and small business owners really need. And as I talked to literally tens of thousands of people, what I kept hearing them say is, I don't feel heard, I don't feel understood, I don't know what to say to people when I start talking with them. And I got to thinking about that, and how do we start? So I created a process that I use in everything called the Predictive Method, and it has 7 steps. You start with awareness, you develop your attention, then you move from a desire to a decision, a conviction to a commitment. You align your values with that of your product, service, opportunity, and the prospect that you're talking to. And only after you're in alignment to make sure it's a good fit, that's when you create an action plan that's going to move you toward your goal. We do this whole goal setting process. And after that, we do the adjustment phase. Plan, do, and review, because if it's not working, then we want to make those adjustments. Otherwise, you get caught on that hamster wheel, and it's really insanity to keep doing the same thing that's not working. And then we'll go ahead and we'll take a look to see if you're getting the growth that you're looking for, the revenue, the new leads, the clients, and you're profitable. Because once you have those steps in place, you just wash, rinse, and repeat. So it's very systematic. The beautiful thing is, no matter where you are in your own process, if you're stuck, overwhelmed, self-sabotaging, just feeling stuck, you can just look at where in the process you are and then make those adjustments.
Wow, I loved it. I actually wrote down, what was it? Plan, do, redo?
Plan, do, review. PDR.
Review. I like that. Plan, do, review. and the whole 5 steps you started talking about before you even got to that. I mean, it literally is, it's not by happenstance. It is a process.
It is, and so is language. I have people say to me, "Oh, I wish I could speak like you do. I wish I could do what you do." And it really is trainable. So whether I'm working with coaching clients or consulting clients, it's a matter of then empowering them to be able to do it when they're no longer working with me. So my goal isn't to keep clients forever, but to transfer this knowledge so that they can transform their language so they can go out and serve more people and do what they do better. Now, when it comes to language, people are like, "Oh, I can't do that." And I'm like, "Really, you can. I can show you. It's called Trivium. I can show you a 3-step process where you can legitimately become a super eloquent speaker."
Wow. And what is it called?
Trivium is a Latin word that means where 3 roads meet, but the foundation of it is in liberal arts education, and it's legitimately grammar, logic, and rhetoric. And when you have those skills and you develop your listening skills along with them, now you have a foundation for writing your copy, for creating your signature talk, for doing your digital course, for giving interviews, whatever it is, you have it already packaged and it's written in your voice. So the words will just flow from your mouth. And
Wow.
I show people how to do that.
That's amazing. Now, I'm putting down here this reveal your sales style. Is that part of this process or is...
It is. This one is your sales style. It's a super easy way, values-based, that allows you to understand what your sales behavior is going to be. And then when it comes to languaging, what I help people shift is not how to close the sale, like how can I talk to the other person to close the sale, but it's a matter of understanding how do I need to speak in the other person's language so that we can communicate with each other and close the sale mutually so it's more authentic. Because people have a default sales style, whether they know it or not, whether they think what I'm saying is true or not, it's not going to change the fact. People have a certain process that they go through when they're trying to close the sale. But if it's not matchy-matchy with the other person, then it's going to be a tripwire. It's going to cause the sale to go flat.
Yep.
When you know what your sales style is and you can recognize how the other person needs to be communicated with, now you can shift, you pivot. Or we women, we pivot in heels. And now you start talking to them in language that they can hear.
Right.
So, at the beginning, you read my question. I legitimately raised my family on that question, which was part of creating this process. What's more important, what was said or how it was interpreted? And the real answer is both, because there's so many words where you say it one way and intend it, but it's not received that way because the other person has a language in their head, the planet that they live on, and it's different than yours. So it is incumbent upon the speaker, the salesperson, to use language that resonates with the other person. And I see that all the time. People make that mistake. You, Ron, have a certain way that will cause you to hear what I'm saying. If I choose to ignore that, whose fault is it if the sale falls flat?
Correct. Yep. And I like that too. And I remember years ago when people started talking to me, it's a lot of times people will tell you what their sales is. You know what I mean? They'll tell you like, well, can you send me a proposal? Can I see something? So it's like logically, some people want to hear it, some people want to see, right? And so sometimes, people will convey to you what their sales process is, and you've got to be able to listen to and hear that and then deliver it. So, what you're talking about to me is not only huge, but it sounds to me like it's so defined that it's almost like a can't miss situation.
Well, it's a proven system. I mean, when you do the predictive method, it's literally going to take you step by step. Part of it too for entrepreneurs, it's identifying what their success process is. I was on a call this morning, and this person wanted me to give them an example, and just very conversationally, I asked this woman, "What is your earliest memory of your success?" And she told me something in her 30s. And I was like, okay, let's play with that a little bit. Why don't you tell me how you felt? So she started explaining how she felt. And in what she said, I was listening for key words. And she had gotten praised. Simple, praised. So then I asked her, what's your first memory of ever getting praised? We took it all the way back to when she was 3 years old. And she got a special part in a dance performance, Alice in Wonderland. She even remembered the name of her ballet instructor. That set her off on her success process. So from that point forward, we started looking at how she developed intentionally success for the rest of her life. And she runs a multi-million-dollar company now. But once you identify what your success process is, you know exactly what your steps are, you're able to create success systematically. And that's one of the outcomes I do for my clients.
I love it. And, taking that a step further, once it's kind of like learning about human nature and how people work. And like, even in relationships, people have different types of love languages. And one of them is praise and being accepted, telling them I appreciate you. Yeah, affirmations. So that's what I thought of immediately when you said that. So there are multiple, but I think it really comes down to just, listening, learning the steps that you're talking about. It's vitally important, but it's not really all about you. You have to learn and understand and find out how that person needs to hear what it is you want to say so you can help them.
Exactly. And I say, if you're effective, you become less visible, they become more visible. Because when you listen more than you speak, you're able to quickly identify what problem you solve or need you serve. And now you're opening up the dialogue, because not everybody's a good fit. And that's one of the things I really try to get people to understand is, do you want everybody, or do you want those people who are the best fit for you based on what you have to offer and what their need is? Because I'm one of those people, if it's not a good fit, I can offer you someone who I believe is a better fit for what your problem is.
Yeah, and I think that's huge too, because I've heard different studies about like the 80-20 rule, like 20% of your income, 80% of your income comes from like 20% of the people, but 80% of your problems, you know what I mean? So weeding out, if it's not a fit, right, it will just save you some headaches down the line, and also will allow that person to be served in a better fashion, right?
So one question I ask people is, do you want more prospects or do you want more qualified prospects?
I would definitely go with the qualified, yeah. And I think it helps. And again, I don't want to say in the sales process, because we're here to serve, right? But in that process, if you're listening more and you're understanding them more, they're actually selling themselves. So when you're now serving them, you're not constantly. I've had some of them clients where I taught and I got them in because I knew I could help them, but they still weren't sure. They just, okay, let's go with it. During the process of serving them, I had to constantly reaffirm to them that they made the right choice. This is what's happening. This is why. But whereas when I tried to do it the other way, and they basically sold themselves and came in, the process was just so less stressful.
I agree. And I do call it the sales conversation, because that's my approach. It's conversational. When I talk, and I think you might have heard me when I was in Boston, I asked the audience, how many of you believe you have a product, service, or opportunity that brings value to the marketplace? Hands go up. And if the hands don't go up, I challenge them, because if you don't believe in your own product, you shouldn't be offering it. And then I say, how many of you like to sell? And most hands go down. A lot of hands go down. And then I repeat the question. If you believe that you have a product, service, or opportunity that brings value to the marketplace and you don't offer it to them, are you doing them a service or a disservice?
Yep.
And the answer is a disservice, because a lot of people have a hang up around the concept of selling. Yet, if you think about it in a different way, it's influencing. It's believing that you have a product, service, or opportunity that brings value, solves a problem, and you don't offer it to somebody. I think that is a worse concept than saying, I don't want to sell my friends. But if they're my friends and I have, let's say, Tylenol and they have a headache and I don't offer it to them, well, it's just a head trash.
Yep. I love it. Good for you. All right. So let's pretend we have 3 levels of business owners. We have someone who's like maybe even just a W-2. No, I don't mean just a W-2. I just mean that they're not a business owner yet. Okay.
Right.
don't want to offend anybody, but they're a W-2 now. They're thinking about crossing over, or they're close to retiring, and they're thinking about, I don't want to retire. I'm done here, but I want to continue. So they're thinking about, going into another field. And then you have people who are already in business, have had some success, and they're looking to scale. What are like 1, 2, or 3 tips you can give them about the sales process, learning things, or anything that can help them help their clients and ultimately help themselves?
So I will start them with the first step, which is awareness. And we're going to develop awareness around what is it you want to know? What is it you want to do? And that's usually based on, what do you know? Who are you? What are your experiences in life? So my very first question to begin developing this awareness is to legitimately ask them, what do you want? And frequently we'll get the answer, I don't know. Well, then we're going to dive a little bit deeper, and I'm going to start finding out what their values are. And you can find out what your values are if you open up your checkbook or your credit card statement and you look at where do you spend your time, your money, and your resources. From there, we're going to look at ideas. Well, if you had the confidence and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? What are you passionate about? And that's where I use a list of 25 open-ended questions to find out what's highest priority on their mind. Because I really do listen for words and patterns of words to understand what it is someone's all about. Once we develop their awareness, then it's a matter of where are we going to focus our attention. So whether you're starting out, let's take a stay-at-home mom, and now they want to go back into the workforce, or they want to bring in some money and do a side hustle, it's a matter of deciding, the decision, which is another one of my 7 steps. If you're a C-suite executive and now you've given industry 20, 30 years of your life, you have accumulated a tremendous amount of knowledge. How do you package that knowledge so that you can create a profitable business from it? Again, it's the same question, Ron. What do you want? Do you want to work hard? Do you want to work not so hard? Do you want to create a legacy business? Are you about passive income? So we're going to start drilling it back in terms of what does someone want, and then we're going to reverse engineer it to figure out how to get there. And anytime with my clients, I'm going to run them through the predictive method, which is a proven step-by-step process where we can identify all of these elements that are needed. If they're mid-range, maybe they're already an entrepreneur and they need to scale. Again, we're going to look at what is your primary product or service that you offer? What do we need to do so that it can not only be sustainable, but scalable and ultimately saleable? So we're going to ask a number of questions. We're going to look at some KPIs or key product indicators, which are different for every industry, find out what the real offer is, and then how do we move that forward? What's our plan to get from where you are to where you want to go? Sometimes that's consulting, sometimes that's coaching. So it depends, the 3 buckets: done, do it yourself, done with you, or done for you. But it's always the same process.
I got to tell you, I absolutely love it. I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm like, wow. But what I really like about what you're saying is not only does it make sense and does it fit, but it's also a step-by-step system. So if we just follow, a couple of times you mentioned the 25-step system, and you had the 7 questions, and you had this and you had that. So to me, I mean, the next step is for people to get in touch with you, get access to this 25-step system. So what does that look like for somebody to reach out to you and to start this process? I might be one of them.
So the 7-step process is really easy. I've put on the screen, you can go to the Predictive Method /sales-whisperer, and that's a simple 90-second assessment that'll tell you what your sales style is. And it's great. You'll know your sales style, and that will include a conversation with me. So once you do one step, we'll move to the next step and we'll schedule a time to talk. The 7-step process that I call the Predictive Method is the basis for both my coaching and my consulting program. It's a tool that I use in all and through all that I do. And it depends, again, on what it is you're looking to create, where you are in your process. Are you just starting out and you need to build, launch, and grow? Or are you already built, but now you need to scale and possibly even sell? Depending on whether you're looking for passive income or you're looking for profit for a number of years, that's going to determine how we answer some of these questions going forward. But again, it all begins and ends with the Predictive Method and your wants and desires.
I love it, man. I love it. I'm going to the site and you're going to see my name soon, because you can never stop learning. When you stop learning, you stop growing as a person. And ultimately, I want to serve and help as many people as I can. One of the things I love about my job is I help people, whatever that product or service is to get it in front of the people who need it. So I don't have the skill sets that all my clients have. But how I like to look at it is that if I can use my skill set to get my clients in front of their clients got their needs met by getting in touch with my clients, and I help in some way facilitate those people getting their needs met, even though I didn't have the skill set to help them. So, I never stop learning, man. I love it.
So what is it you do?
We've known each other for years.
I know, but this is your show. How often do you get to tell people what you do?
Okay, yeah. We help people in a generic sense, right? And then I'll get specific. Is we help people create websites that people will find and know and like, and you got to update them and all the technical stuff you got to do at the back end of Google. But when you get past that, the technical stuff, we do the websites, we do what's called funnels, we do video marketing, editing, rankings. But what we really do, my claim to fame, what I'm most proud of, is the SEO, the organic search engine optimization, where we get people ranked for their products and services. And what that means for them in a non-jargon sense, because I know sometimes I fall into the techie talk, but what it means for people is that people who are searching for they have a problem and they're searching for a solution to that problem. So they might type in what is, how to, how can I, how do I sell a business, how do I grow a business, better sales techniques, how to serve more people, whatever it is. I help people come up in the results for those solutions that people are looking for. And what that means to them is that they actually get more customers, more clients, more people to serve, and ultimately they make more money and the other people are having their needs met, and the world's a better place.
So do you do the website development as well as the SEO work?
Oh yeah, we'll do the websites all together. Right now, we just got 3 new websites last week. We'll create one's a redo. They already had a site, and we're redoing it. But the other 2 are just fresh sites. And also, like, you look at like the opportunities, right? With this COVID right now, coming out of COVID, so many people are going to have debt problems, right?
Right.
Because they lost their jobs or whatever. I have this client now. He's been a client of mine for like 5 years, made like 5 million off my services. But he has another service where it's like debt remediation, where
Right.
you can get your debt down to like 5-7 cents on the dollar without filing bankruptcy. I'm like, Ron, you're sitting on a gold mine. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because his last business where he made so much money was when they switched to the Obamacare, I forget, the Affordable Care Act. And yeah, I'm trying to be politically correct here. Okay, the Affordable Care Act, because what happened was so many doctors and dentists couldn't keep up with the requirements of the paperwork and the different insurance, so they would sell to hire HMOs. But in order to sell, they'd have to know how much they were worth, so they would hire him to do the business valuations. I'm like, come on, this government's a gold mine for you. You know what I mean? They change a policy and he comes in and solves a problem. So anyhow, so we're creating from scratch his site. We've already created, we shot all the videos, and we're creating all the funnels, and we will get that information in front of all, a whole bunch of people who might have some real stress going on right now. Unfortunately, the suicide rate's up 400%. Domestic abuse is up over 800%. The people who have relapse for alcohol and drugs is going through the roof, and we haven't even seen the beginning of it yet. September, October is when all the bankruptcies and stuff are coming. So what I really like is that this will be done and ready and in front of people, and hopefully will take some of the stress off their lives. So so to answer your question, we do right from the very beginning. We'll do the entire website, but then we'll create the online courses. Then we will also create the funnels and then the marketing and getting it right in front of people who need it.
That sounds like phenomenal service, especially with people repositioning themselves. Yep. I know that I have a lot of people ringing my number now, and they're saying, I need a side hustle. I need a business that's not dependent on a paycheck from someone who might close the doors.
Exactly.
So for entrepreneurs who don't know what business to open up, it's a great conversation to be having with people right now, because there's truly a need for people to understand how to take their own intellectual property and to create a product, service, or opportunity that's going to serve.
Yep, and monetize it. Yep.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like my friend Ron, who had this debt remediation thing, right? He's like, I've had this for years, Ron. I've been doing this. And I'm like, yeah, but look at the world now, brother. You know what I mean? So it's a golden opportunity for him. But also the people that you're just mentioning, their IP, the world changed, so 6 months ago, 4 years ago, maybe, who knows, but right now they should absolutely be exploring it, because even like, even how people do business is going to change, probably 30% of the businesses people aren't going to be driving into Boston or whatever the city is anymore, going into the high rise. So you're going to have parking garages changing. You're going to have buildings with low vacancy. I mean, there is a ton of change coming. But if you can see a little bit of it, and like you said, with that IP, and contact a good coach like yourself and get some guidance, this could be a great opportunity for a lot of people. More millionaires came out of the Great Depression than in any other time in our life. But it was people who saw opportunity instead of crisis. If you constrict and you have, instead of, having an abundance mindset,
Exactly. Have you ever done the Strength Finders assessment by Gallup?
I have not, but when you said the Strength Finders assessment, I thought you were talking about when you first go to the gym and they, figure out where you're. No, I'm just kidding. I think I've done some tests where they talk about, where you're. I don't know if it's that exact one, but I have done some. But I would love to explore anything that would help me in any way deliver better service to my clients.
So I am in no way, shape, or form associated with Strength Finders. I've done the assessment, and I've had a coach talk me through and interpret what my results mean. And one of my top strengths is what's called a maximizer, which is so much a part of what I do because I work with people who are already excellent. And I see the potential in them before they see it in themselves.
Nice.
And when they talk to me, I can come up with processes, systems, tools, services that they can provide based on their IP that they might not even be aware of because it's so easy for them. They don't even realize that it's going to bring such value to other people, just like you're talking about your friend.
Yep.
So I welcome any of your listeners who are in this space and they don't know, have a conversation with me. I literally have talked to tens of thousands of entrepreneurs. I speak so many different languages. I speak coaching, I speak real estate investing, I speak intellectual property, I speak event planning, all of the languages of so many different industries.
I love it. And I highly recommend it. I've known you. I've been around you for years, Dawn. I've heard you on several different stages. You mentioned Boston, but I seen you. I did the thing with Ryan and them. I think you were speaking in Philadelphia when I was there. I think it was Philadelphia or Atlanta because I did like 12 cities with them. And but I've seen you with Bill Walsh. So I think I've seen you on some of his stages and some other people too. So I've been around you for years. I highly recommend. But even listening to you today, because I have heard you before and I have heard you speak, and I doubt very seriously it was the exact same thing you said today that you said 2 years ago. But today I'm sitting here listening and I'm like, wow, why didn't you know what I mean? I want some of that. So
hey.
So good stuff. Dawn, it's been excellent. Anything you would like to say in closing?
I want to thank you, actually, for doing this, for pivoting, for understanding that the market has changed and that the need is there. I hear a lot of summits. I speak on a lot of summits. Right now, I think there's a hunger. Les Brown's new book just come out, You Have to Be Hungry. It just came out. And I think that kind of awakening, that awareness that people are hungry to make a difference in the world, not just $1, awakening that awareness, and giving people permission to follow through on their dreams. If you had the confidence and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do?
I love it. Dawn, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody, that was a great interview. If you don't know Dawn Moore, you really need to get to know her. Like I said, I'm not kidding. I've been around her for years. I've seen her speak on several different stages, several different groups. What it really comes down to at the end of the day is we're all trying to serve, not sell our clients, right? But sometimes in our minds, we understand the value and the benefits of what we offer, but our clients don't. So sometimes we are talking, I don't want to say at them, but we're not really listening to them. We're not listening to their language, how they need to hear to understand the benefits and value of what we can do for them. What Dawn offers, she has a couple of different platforms. One's a 7 steps, one's 25. She has 7 different ways to help you learn to better understand other people's patterns of learning. So when you're having communications with them, not only will it increase your sales, but will increase your ability to serve them, because that's what it's really about. But also your relationship with them going forward will just be more, rhythmatic opposed to problematic, because you're on the same page. You just have a better understanding of who they are and what they need, opposed to just pushing your solutions on them. So again, I'm super grateful that Dawn Moore took time to speak with us today on Success Secrets Revealed with Ronald Couming. We are sponsored by RCS Online Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients using various internet marketing techniques and methods. Okay, let's be honest. At the end of the day, you can have the best products, the best services, the best prices, the best solutions, the best websites, the best copies, the best videos. You can have the best everything. If people can't find you when they're searching for the solutions, products, and services you provide, you're not going to get hired because they can't even find you. They can't consider you. If you're looking to serve more people, you feel free to contact me. I'll get you ranked before you pay me. Thank you, everyone. Ron Couming, RCS Online Solutions.